Hello, welcome again to Anime Anonymous. I'm CJ,
And this is Ace.
and we are here to feed that anime addiction. This week, it's close to my heart because it's about food, and I love food.
Okay.
But this anime was a treat, and I was very excited to hear what Ace thought of it because I remember when I first watched this with my boy Tevin back in 2011 weekly, and it was a ride back then. So I was looking forward to this this episode, and of course, got everything happening. Had Memorial Day, other issues, but hey. We got it. That's what matters. So,
Hey, we got it in here. We give y'all something.
so
Family time matters.
hey, for sure. So I think I already said it. 2011 Bento. It had 12 episodes. It was off a light novel. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's a light novel because I don't remember seeing manga for this. They might have made one after, because that's what sometimes happens. But I believe it was off of a light novel, and yeah. What were your thoughts there, Ace?
Well, this one wasn't very interesting. It's bento, but it's clearly not about food in the sense of like if I had to compare it to like a Shokugeki no Soma, like that's like
You know what's
anime.
you know what's so funny to me that you say that? I was like, this is like Shokugeki no Soma, except it's like actual fist fighting.
Yeah.
Like Shokugeki no Soma, they're fighting with their food.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it's so funny you said that.
and and since you just brought that to my attention, I really enjoyed the physical combat, but I just did not see why the bento was so relevant and why it was so many, like, and no offense, this is just based off the anime. Why is everyone so poor that they're like, no, I'm staying for this half off, and it's only like 6 to 8 options, and then you either go home hungry or you finally like can win and you enjoy your prize, which is the bento.
Well, so not everybody's struggling. But anyway, that's your quick.
Just off of the East Brawlers
Yeah.
and the West Brawlers.
That's your quick synopsis.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Because for those of you who maybe didn't watch this to keep in track with us, or have never seen this in general, you're like, what?
I know that
What
probably
are
sounded
you
crazy.
talking about? Well, here's the thing. This anime is just let's kind of put it like a food term too, like a buffet of random different genres put together. You want fighting? It's in here.
Yep.
You want ecchi? You got it. You want some main character kind of shonen evolution?
Sort of.
You got it. It's like jack of all trades. It's the master of
Felt like
nothing.
It felt
but
like
it's like it's everything.
it felt like a collage of WTF. I'm like, what am I watching? Why did CJ recommend this?
and you so like we've said before, Ace and I work at the same company, so we'll sometimes chat about it. A lot of the feelings he had is what I felt when I first watched this. He was like, dude, the pacing in this
So
thing
fast.
is so fast. I was like, yup.
Like, it was like the way new characters get introduced. First off, they act like we just know who they are. And they just come. I'm like, we just met you, no intro, no background. They just start interacting with the main character, and you're just supposed to just keep up. I'm like, this is very difficult to follow.
Yeah. No.
And
It's it's not necessarily difficult to follow because it's a very simplistic story,
Right,
but
right.
it's just fast. You're just like, okay,
Like,
he was
we
here.
kinda, yeah.
Why is he here all of a sudden? And like,
prime example. Let me make sure I get her name. Ayame Shaga. This girl, the blonde hair girl.
oh, Lady Lake.
Random. She was the most random character to just jump into the mix, and I'm like, and then she's a beast at that.
But you saw her on the intro. Any girl, literally the
That's
only
the only
anime,
reason I accepted it.
the only anime that I have watched recently that had somebody, a quote unquote, you think is a title character on the intro that's not, is Jujutsu Kaisen. Because there's a kid that is on there. I can't remember his name. He's literally on the title screen. You're like, all right, bet he's going to be their next. Nah. Wiped. Dead. I was like, what?
How do you feel about that anime?
Which one? Jujutsu?
Kaisen, yeah.
I like it. I think it gets a little bit too much praise. I like it for what it was. I really like the martial arts in it and the animation style. But yeah, I think there's certain people who dog it, and I think there's certain people who raise it way too high.
Yeah, I still haven't watched
Yeah,
it in its entirety yet.
yeah. No, I mean, I liked it. I'm looking forward to next season. No, it's a good anime. But to kind of give you again, there's not. Yeah, I mean, hey, you haven't learned that already. You at the wrong place. We go on tangents like crazy, which is funny because guys usually don't go
right
all over.
I think we having fun. So it doesn't
exactly.
matter. Yeah, it's like literally just locker room talk.
That's what happens with the. Here's another tangent, but like he's talking about tangents, like when the wife or like let's say my mom or somebody's trying to like tell me a story. I'm like, bro, just get to the end. Like, I don't need to know what you had for dinner when you're telling me about what Bob said. Like, well, it builds the scenery. I don't care about the scenery. I don't. Just give me the answer.
Trying to give you the visual.
Yeah, I don't need all that. Just give me the facts. So, speaking of facts, so the main character in this anime, his name is Yo Sato, and he literally gets worked the first like second. You literally the anime starts and my boy is on the floor. He's just like on I don't remember what day it is. He's like on June 6th, 2011. I died. like wait, what?
At first I was like believing him, but then like, nah, this ain't that type of anime. Like, because remember we did a previous anime with the dolls. It was another. So in another, that person actually died, so it made sense. But I'm like, this ain't that. There's no way.
Yeah, no, like
but yeah, he just gets his butt kicked, and I'm like,
and then, like people are looking at him. He's got like a puddle of blood around his head.
Right.
And then his stomach growls. And he just popped up. He's like, "Oh, I can't be dead if I'm hungry." Like,
right. I was like, okay, this is different. This is different. But I do like the comedy, how they actually construct the comedic acts. Yeah, it was very funny.
And there's different portions, or there's different versions of comedy, right?
Yeah.
So like you have that one, which you're just like, huh? What? Like what comedy? And then you just like you have the other ones where with the girl Ume, I think her name is. That's always like
that's the blonde girl. Oh
no, the one that's always beating him up.
Oh,
she like smack the heck out of him.
Characters.
Yeah, me too.
I hate them. It reminds me of like Sakura. Hate
but
it.
like the parts that were funny, which again we talked about. It's like he's sitting there, he's talking to the other girl, Hannah, whatever her name is.
Yes.
Yep. And then you just see her, and they do it so obviously. Like she had a short anime run. Like you just see her legs coming up, and she just knocks
that was nice. Yeah, it kidnaps her. Like no one says a word.
Like literally, and the anime calls it out because like a lot of the times she does it. It's just him and Oshiroi, and he's just like Oshiroi,
right?
But there's one time she literally pulls up in her limo, knocks her out, and drags her away, and people are like, "Did you see that?"
No, we didn't see it.
Like,
keep going to school. Keep walking to school.
You literally hear the students look at each other like, "Did you see that? What should we do?" They're like, "I don't know." Like,
That yeah,
they are blown.
yeah. She is funny in her actions, but I don't really like her character. But she
I don't
did,
like her character either.
She made some comedic moments for sure.
Yeah, but and like it's so, and then other portions are like he's a perv, right? Like so, there's certain times where like his perviness actually like goes against him, and you're just like, oh, like. I feel kind of bad for you, but at the end of the day, you did it to yourself because you're a perv. But I still kind of
give me an example.
So, like for instance, like at one stereotypical quote unquote beach episode, but it's the pool episode, right? So they know that he's a perv, right? Mm-hmm. So they're trying to use it against him. So they're like his the blonde lady, like she's like rubbing up on him. She's like, yeah, if I do this, you can't go after this stuff. And then she tries to go after it, and like the funny part,
oh my god,
the funny part,
it just popped back in my head.
They're like, how is he moving so swiftly? It's like he has a rudder. Like, oh, they did not just say that.
That was so funny. And he was swift like a shark. Like,
my boy was doing the most.
He was dodging. Literally felt like a speedboat. I'm like, bro, this
like
is
my man wasn't even using his hands.
Right, just gone.
Like, how is he doing those moves? And she blushes because she's like, wait a minute, I know what's happening. And then
he gets out of the
pool.
He
stands up, he's like, yeah. And he actually, like at first I thought it was symbolism.
Right.
Like, but he actually has a fin right where his junk is.
Which was random.
Right.
I'm like,
and then it falls down and he's like, ah. And they're like, he's a pervert. And he doesn't know that his pants fell. And then he's like, oh, don't look.
I'm like, bro, you might as well own it at this point. I would just put my pants on, go over here, eat my nice bento box, and enjoy my meal. But nah, that was hilarious. Like,
yeah, so like that's where it's like it's funny and you feel bad for him, but then like all the pervy stuff that you do, like it's kind of your fault. Like again,
it's weird. Like some of it wasn't warranted. Yeah.
No. A lot of it he gets misrepresented, right. But then you're like, at the end of the day, you are a perv, though.
Yeah, but not to the extreme that they try to make him out to be. I'm like, he's a normal kid.
But like sometimes, like for instance, later in the anime where he's talking to the brunette, right, the one that you never see her face. You always see. Well, actually, you see her face in the last episode. They literally just call her brunette. Right. She's talking like he's like, "Hey, where's Ice Cold Witch?" You know, like because I can't think of her name right now. She's like, "Yeah, I went to go check on her too. Apparently, she's not in." And he's literally staring at her tits the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, I might not go today either. I'm not feeling it." He was like, "No, you should always be bouncy and beautiful." And she goes, got real strong focus there, don't you?
And she's actually really good at martial arts. Like,
yeah,
she was actually good at work. Yeah, I would definitely, I definitely like the combat from the women here. They definitely were putting in work. Ice Witch, her name is Sen Yarizui.
Yeah.
She's a beast.
She's sick.
Yeah, she's goated.
She is sick. Like she and when I was thinking back, I was like, yeah, she only uses kicks, right? No, she throws hands too, but she's just she uses her feet as the major part, but she throws hands too. I'm like, oh man, she's kind of more OD than I thought.
Now, based on her ability, you were mentioning the shonen-esque progression.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be a little training arc. Maybe the main character Yo is going to, learn how to fight, learn how to defend his bento. None of that. He just gets knifed out of nowhere. Yeah. I'm just like, not a fan.
Call it the Kurosaki effect.
Not a fan.
Ichigo was pulling out powers from nowhere, bro. He just get whooped, and all of a sudden, I have a new power.
Oh yeah, so that was random because he was literally so weak with powers, and then he was like, I'm also half Quincy. And then he's like, nope, I'm a third of something else. I'm like,
oh, you thought that hollow that you thought was in me? No, that's actually my real soul reaper abilities. You're like, wait, hold up. I'm confused.
The author, he is running out of ideas and writing this week by week as we watch it.
Because the tangents, but that's why I said this is like a buffet of different animes, right?
Yeah.
So tangent on that. If you read the manga, which I give so much shade to Bleach because it has so much crappy filler. There's so much BS power ups with Ichigo, but I did like it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
There are a lot of scenes in that anime I still watch. I'm like, yo, that's sick. Like, especially like when he first reached Bonkai, right? Like, he's blowing up, and Byakuya's like, how can he do this? Blah, 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 blah. Right? And then you have the stupid ones where he just gets a random power. But, like, here's what doesn't make sense in that anime, right? When you read the manga, because, like, it completes it's completed, it turns out that hollow that was taking him over every now and then, that's his actual Soul Reaper abilities, right?
Okay.
Zangetsu, the old man, he never said that he was Zangetsu. He's like, I never said that I was. You just assumed I was. So Zangetsu is actually his Quincy powers. So he was always trying to hold him back so that he didn't fight, because that was his thing. He was trying to keep him away. So if you look, Zangetsu looks like Bach, who's the Quincy bad guy that you find later. There's a reason, because he's of the lineage of Bach, right? Well, the thing that doesn't make sense to me, he became a Vostal Lourdes. You know, when he was fighting Ulquiorra? Right. He became a Vostal Lourdes. Vostal Lourdes is a hollow thing.
Right.
So how did he become that if his hollow was technically
the Bankai,
the Soul Reaper powers?
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe I'm misunderstanding that, but like, I don't know. But that's just something that, because I think of Ichigo, so funnily enough, when I think of this dude, because he just randomly just becomes like a beast. Like,
and I was not a fan, as you guys know.
He was getting worked, right?
Badly. Like, and then it was no progression of like getting worked less. It was just getting worked, and then he's like, all right, so I'm going to get the Laurel Wreath today.
So the wizard was like, are you going to turn away? Or are you going to fight? And he's like, I'm going to fight. And the wizard's like, yeah. And so they fight.
Super Saiyan power up.
Yeah. So then they like fight, and then he becomes it. But like, that's his thing. Like to quote like another pervert huge person in anime, Issei from High School DxD, his perviness is his power. This dude, he's got his hunger is his power. Like, hungrier he is, the nicer he is. And
I was not a fan.
But to talk about your first thing that you said, the East Coast, or are they West?
East Brawlers and West Brawlers.
Are they West? Or like
which ones?
Sato.
Oh, he's West.
Okay, they're not poor. He is.
Yeah.
The others do it purely because
they love fighting, right?
They want to fight. Like, that's their thing. So it's like, it's a prize thing for them. And then if they lose, then they buy a cup of noodle or something else, right? Yeah. Like, which, it's not bad food, but it's not what I fought for, right? So it's like, I have consolidations. But then, like, it's just such a weird anime, and that's why I was like, how did I forget this anime? You know why?
I'm glad you forgot it.
Because honestly, it was enjoyable. Even though it's a very enjoyable anime, I think there's a lot of it that is forgettable, which is why I don't remember. Granted, I've watched way too many anime, so I usually have top tier ones in my head. But like, I was like, when I was rewatching this, I was like, man, I really liked this anime when I first
watched it. It's refreshing. It's really refreshing. Like, I do enjoy when you pick, because it's clearly nothing that I would pick personally by myself. I think when I go through like the popular on whatever anime website, if you're in a US Crunchyroll, I would definitely just look at whatever's popular and watch all of those. Which I still have stuff that I put on the back burner that I need to catch up on. But
me both.
Yeah, I'm slipping. But where was I going with that? I did enjoy it. I think one of my favorite characters was I'm going to say it wrong. The Cerberus twins.
Oh,
They're not Cerberus.
Oracles.
So
Yeah,
the Oracles twins.
The two-headed dog.
They were the best villain.
Their fight style was sick.
Amazing. That literally allowed me to finish the anime.
Yeah.
So I definitely loved them too. Definitely Sen, the president of the Bento Half Price Off Club.
Oh, Ice Witch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So definitely her originally, then Ouroboros, and those two are kind of the main ones that got me committed to finish the anime because usually I watch your recommendations in the privacy of my own room by myself, door closed. But this time, had my girl laying beside me. She's like overhearing because I was like playing it in dub, overhearing the conversation, and she was so lost. So confused and literally looking at me like I had 8 heads, 30 arms, and 40 legs. I'm like, look, this is CJ's recommendation. You know I have the podcast. I'm watching this because of that. But it is a lot of combat in here, which is what I do enjoy. But don't judge me on this and mind your business. So, but
which is what kept me and my buddy coming back to it. We're like, I wonder what new fight we're gonna see, right? Because everybody kind of had their own fighting style. Like you had the ones that you first meet, like the monk, brunette, and goatee. They're like your normal throwing hands, right? And then all the top ones have their own style, right? Mm-hmm. So the wizard, he's very flowy and he jumps a lot and does
showboaty.
Yeah.
Don't
Ice
get touched.
Ice Witch is just, I'm going to beat the snot out you,
and
but
y'all gonna know my name.
Yeah, 90% of it is legs, and she throws her whole body into things because she's not a big character. Yeah. So she knows I have to throw my whole weight into things. And I'm like, all right, I like that.
But she makes it look phenomenal.
Yeah, Lady of the Lake, she tries to throw hands and kicks and stuff, but she's much better with weapons, aka chopsticks. Those are her mainstay weapons. And when she does, she's like, all right, now I can hit points and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Ice Witch was like, okay.
And she was doing this. You said nunchucks or chopsticks?
It was chopsticks.
Yeah, when she had the chopsticks and she was putting in work.
Yeah, Ice Witch was like, okay, you're worthy of a name.
I'm like, literally goes perfect with bento. But I don't understand how these chopsticks are so strong that you're able to literally break necks and body bones and body parts.
She hitting the points.
She was OP.
And then Ouroboros,
she's like a Neji.
Yeah, honestly,
like,
that's her thing. And then Ouroboros, theirs was using
the grocery
baskets.
Yeah, grocery baskets. Why were we struggling?
Use it, yeah.
we're playing. We're playing. What's that game?
Pictionary or what is that? Is it Pictionary? Whatever it is, where you make symbols. Like if we're acting like this is a video podcast, bro. We're sitting here looking at the computer, like, hey, you know those things. First of all, we're not live, so nobody can help us. And two,
we're looking for each other to help. Like, come on, I know you got this.
We're not on video, so it doesn't work. But yeah, the grocery baskets, and I will agree with you. They were my second favorite because the teamwork that they had was beautiful. They used the baskets for both offense and defense.
And propulsion.
Yeah, they throw it at a place so that she can kick off of it, and then she uses hers to kick off of it too, and they hit. And they did my girl dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Ice Witch,
I was like,
it just boom, hit her, and she twisted. I'm like, oh.
I was like, did she die?
I was like, yeah, right?
The way her
body spun, that girl had 3 lacerations
right,
in her vertebrae. her legs should have been on the other foot.
Right.
It was,
I was
it was messed up.
that woke me up.
Yeah, I was like, yo.
Yeah. What are they calling it? Ouroboros?
Or Ouroboros,
Ouroboros?
something like that. Yeah.
But it worked.
It's Cerberus's brother, I think.
Yeah.
Like he has two, except Cerberus protected Hades. I think he protected like farms or something like that.
Yeah, they said in
Yeah, but
nah, they had perfect coordination.
yeah, but I mean, it's not all good, or else I would have never forgotten this anime. Because I mean, there's not really a boatload to talk about. So I guess we can talk a little bit more, right? Kind of when we get close, near the rating. Because honestly, I'm down to give it soon.
Well, I do got a couple questions for you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's why I said soon, not now. But like, the character that you didn't like, Ume, I didn't. I get it. They're trying to hit all sides because you had your normal ecchi with like the poses of the girls and stuff like that, but then you had the very Yuri style with her, right? Like she was all over the other girls. I'm like, that's not really my cup of tea. Like I've never been into that. But like there was one scene where she was being aggressive with the macho man girl, like the one that does the stories.
Oh yeah.
She was like
Oshiro.
Yeah, Oshiro was like, I'm not sick. She's like, you could just use a thermometer. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
that
sick.
was so uncomfortable.
She
It
goes,
was such a long period.
She goes, oh, this thing that's broken.
Right.
I've used it 3 times. It said you were normal temperature. She was like, yeah, because I am. She's like, no, this is broken.
Right.
I'm like, that's so rapey.
I was like, this is not enjoyable to watch.
No. It was like that. So those parts really took it out. Like, especially when she was with the lady of the lake and like being all aggressive towards her when they're bathing. I'm like, this is no.
Oh yeah.
This is not my thing.
Yeah,
so,
it was not a fan.
And then my biggest issue, like he's like so when Witch is sick, right? He's like, oh, is it all right if I can show off a little? Like he tells her, and you're like, all right, this is his like, I'm manning up, I'm getting it. And he fights, and then you don't know, they don't show you the fight at all. He just comes back and he has like the wreath, and he gives it to her, and she's like, man, you really level up like when you need to. She's like, how did you get like the number one fighting Ouroboros, Heracles?
You talking about the final battle?
Yeah, the final battle. They don't show you him actually fight them. He literally tells them, come fight. And then it go like it literally cuts from right there to them to everybody sitting out in front of the thing, and Ouroboros is eating like rice balls, so you know they lost.
Right.
And then he goes to what's her name and presents her the eel. But you don't see him fight Ouroboros. You don't see him fight anybody else. You knew that they were going to fight him because he literally is like, come fight me.
So,
but they don't show it.
What happened during? Because now that did I just like make up my own?
No. So
scenario?
what happened is Hercules tries to diss them, right? He comes in, he's hungry, his stomach makes everybody want to fight, right? Mm-hmm. Hercules fights, and then he gets waxed by Ouroboros
quickly,
right?
Like fodder. That was another thing. He was very hyped up, and then he gets dropped in like 2 seconds.
He wasn't hyped up. He was the only reason he was quote unquote hyped up is because he was the one that dealt with them, and then you find out how he dealt with them. He just let them eat.
Oh,
so he wasn't like supposed to be like this god tier fighter.
I thought the way he was up there strutting around, I'm like,
yeah, no, he's a good fighter. He is a good fighter, and you saw him wax the actual fodder. Like he destroys like 30 people. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna tell you, like this game isn't just for show, and he kicks the hell out of Sato. Or right? Is that his name? Yeah, Sato. He kicks him into the wall. And Sato's like, oh god! Like he's like, yeah. And then Ouroboros freaking kills him like they killed Witch,
right?
And he's a slap. And right there, Sato, he's sitting there, he's fighting, and somebody has him like by the shirt or whatever. He stops and he looks at them. He's like, "Come on, come fight!" And they like smile, and then they do, and then that's it. They don't show him fighting.
Wow.
They don't. It cuts from there to outside.
With them eating
The
together.
dude who's always calling him a pervert. He's like, "Oh yeah, this eel's good." Lady of the Lake has eel. She's
Right.
like, "Yeah, this is good." Orbos has rice balls, and they're like, what's his name? Oh, he said he had to go deal with something, and other guys like, I don't want to deal with that pervert, blah blah blah. And then they go to him, and he has the Laurel Reef one,
Right.
and she's like, "Man, like you level up when you need to," but she's like, how do you do that?
And he was like, I don't know.
And I was hoping, like, and I think that's what I remember. I was like, there's a point that annoys me in this anime, and I'm like, it's the last part. Because my whole thing was like, okay, they didn't show it right then.
Right.
They're going to show it when he's talking to her.
Right.
She's like, how did you do it? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, they're going to show it right here. Nope. No.
And then it ends. And I'm
They just
like,
eat.
I'm glad this is over.
I'm like, bruh, that ending totally took it down for me. Like, so anyway, before I want to give my freaking rating for this thing, but what were your questions?
Well,
If I remember them,
well, my question was going to be, what was your worst?
yeah, that one.
I was like, in my head, like when you were talking, I'm like, well, you pretty much answered my question, so we actually didn't waste any time on that. I think the only other thing that I want to bring up is Oshiro's character. The way she was like fawning and kind of personifying her main character in her story to be Yo, and then once the girl that hate Ume
Yeah,
finds out that she put Yo's face on the muscle guys, I did not like Oshiro's character in the sense of like, where's your progression? You're just like a filler character.
Oh no, she's a true ninja. Literally, when everybody else is fighting,
Yeah, she just
like,
goes. Yep. And it steals.
got it, and everybody's like, "Yo, how did she even get there?" Like my girl is using like flash step or like something, bro. Like she literally like she just has her feet going. She goes, "Hoop, hoop, hoop, hoop." Yeah.
And I was just like, why are you in this anime? Like, please just leave. Like, stop going. Just write. Like, I'd rather her, like, literally sit there and just write exactly how the fight is proceeding.
Yeah.
So that we can get, like, some background information or something like that. Like, make her be useful.
Yeah.
No, she was just there to just watch everyone fight and then go and swoop
She's a
in.
complete finesser. She's like, "Yeah,
and get a
you
discount.
all right? Just swerve through here."
Yeah, so to answer my own question, that's my worst part. One of my worst parts. Wasn't a fan of the fan service. Definitely the cringe moments with Ume.
Yeah.
Was not a fan of her at all. But I did really enjoy the fights. And then the two characters, Sen and the twins.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm ready for the rating.
All right. So you usually go first. I'll go first on this one. I was tied between it because like the ending really annoys me.
Yeah.
But like I can't let that completely sully everything else.
We'll give 2 ratings.
No. I'm good. So I'll give it a 6, right? Because it's better than average, which is a 5. But there's a lot to be desired in this, right? There's not a really good story. There's, again, random power-ups. You got Ume, who is there for half of the thing, randomly beating him up. You got Oshiro, which, yeah, I was not a fan of her gay muscle man, like, things that she's writing. It's just weird. Like, just the thought process that she has. And literally all those Yuri scenes with Ume and the girls, like, that took me out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then, again, like, the end where the penultimate fight, no, not the penultimate, the final, the climactic fight, you don't see. I'm just like, you see like half of it, and then the one that you really want to see, him wax Ouroboros. No, you don't see it. I'm just like, really? So, yeah, so I'm going to give it a 6. It's definitely enjoyable. Would I recommend it to people? Yeah, but I'm not going to like, that's like, again, like the list that I gave you off rip. That wasn't on it.
Right.
But it is one that I would recommend, but I'd have to remember it.
All right. Respectable. So, my turn. I don't think I ever rated this low before. When I say I did not enjoy this, I'm going to give this like a 3.
Hey.
And I'm only giving it a 3 is because, as you guys know, I am very combat like heavy when it comes to enjoying anime, and it gave me those 3 points was the combat. I enjoyed that. It was so many things where I'm just like, just get through. Just get through. Just get through it for the podcast. Let everyone know it's a 3. But if you want to have like, actually, if you just go on YouTube and just type in Bento fights, that's all you need to see, and you will, yeah, you will enjoy what you need to enjoy. That's literally all I think.
Unless you're in fan service,
yeah, I mean, if you're in fan service, that's you. The only other thing is the fights, and if they have like the summary snippets of the comedic moments. Mm-hmm. Other than that, which I can just watch the highlights and then I would have enjoyed just those scenes. That's all I need from me. So yeah, that's my rating. Definitely excited for whatever's next.
So I'm gonna take that as you don't have a recommendation, so it's all right. Yeah, I have one because I like mixing the movies. So this isn't gonna be, again, when I first mentioned this, I want to say it was probably 3 episodes ago. I think it was when we did Arcane. Okay. I mentioned this movie. It's based on like an anime movie, or not even an anime movie. It's based on a book back in the day. It actually was, if I remember correctly, so this might all be quote unquote hearsay. Okay. But if I remember correctly, it first was just an art piece of like this half cyborg kind of girl, and then it became either a light novel or a manga. But I would like to do what's her name? Oh my gosh. Yeah, because it was actually between this one was so I'll tell you because it's escaping my head right now. It was between this or another series, but I was like, I'm going to give you a break for between fan service.
Oh, yeah, please.
So I'm not going to tell you the name of it.
Appreciate
that
it.
Way, when I do recommend this, you're not going to think, oh God, this is the fan service one. Alita Battle Angel. So okay. That's the movie. I love this movie, and I'm pretty sure it was Arcane because Jeff was like, we bought it. I really like it, and I think it's live action, but it's got ties to like anime-ish movies because Featured Anime Podcast, the podcast that I listen to, they do that sometimes. Like one of their next ones is like it's a live action of anime-ish one, but it's like an OG one, right? So there's actually no true source material for it, but it is related to an anime, sort of. Okay. It's kind of the same thing for Alita. Okay. I think you're gonna love Alita, to be honest.
No, it sounds like I would enjoy it. So.
But it's a really cool movie. I want them to come out with a second one. Freaking killing me.
Come out with that second season of Arcane first.
Yeah, well, Arcane's already coming out. I can't remember when they said. They said they had a whole trailer for it. I think it's 2023. I think it is coming out next year. But yeah, so Alita Battle Angel next week. I think, the rigmarole. If you have any...
Oh, wait, before you do that,
a
random question.
What's that?
Did you watch 86? Did you finish it?
Yes, I finished that thing a long time ago.
I know I finished it probably within 2-3 weeks ago. I really enjoyed that.
That's a really good anime.
Is that going to be another season?
I don't know. I haven't researched it, but the ending could go either way because they did kind of bookmark it, but they did also end it. The ending is not a super open ending, so you could end it there, but it did give a little bit of an option to have a second, I think, another season.
Right.
Because they technically, I think, say that it already has 2 or maybe 3 seasons. I can't remember how they split up the episodes. But it's, how many episodes was it? Like 26?
Yeah,
I can't remember. I just know that I finished it, and those end episodes were high key. But yeah, no, I like that one.
Well, as a second recommendation for all the listeners out there, check out 86. Definitely enjoyable.
Well, we can do that after Alita then, since we both recently just watched it.
Okay.
So next episode's Alita, and the episode after that we'll do 86 because that's a more recent one. So we'll be a little bit more not clandestine, but a little more tactical with what we say about that one, especially since it's a recent one. And just right now, just saying, like, it is one that I think a lot of people could potentially like, especially if you like mecha. But it's a good building one.
Which I was not really a fan of mecha.
Yeah,
which I think
I'm hit or miss with that.
that's why I took so long to get into it, because you guys told me about that when
it first came out.
Yeah, like we were like first hired here.
Yeah. It came out months ago.
And one of our old coworkers was hype about 86, which I understand why. But once he said mecha and robots, I'm like,
yeah, that's why he was hyped for it. I'm like, it just has a great story.
Right.
And I'm like, okay,
that is not getting me to enjoy
good.
this.
But yeah, no, like, I mean, outside of when I was a kid and Gundam, like
mine was Zoids.
Yeah, Zoids actually. Zoids. I think I saw Gundam first, but I got into Zoids, like, because I'm like, Gundam was always on, but yeah, Zoids came out. I was like, yo, that Liger's sick.
Yeah,
and there was like the fox with the giant sniper bar like thing on. I'm like, yo, that thing's kind of sick.
How many episodes is that?
Zoids,
that's like a Pokemon type.
No, yeah, there's a lot of additions to that one too. But until next week, have any suggestions, recommendations? You think we were totally wrong on our views of Bento, or we were right, and you just want to chat about it or any of the animes we've reviewed? Hit us up on Instagram, xAnimeAnonymous, Twitter, xAnimeAnonymous.
On Audius, Anime Anonymous.
And if you're old school and just want to shoot us an email, it's same as Instagram. So xanimeanonymousx@gmail.com. Always love interacting with everybody. So we will catch you next week and look forward to any DMs or whatever that we get.
Cool.
So I've been CJ.
And this is Ace.
And we will catch you next AA meeting.